Thank you. I want to take you back to an earlier conversation about this story. The Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance pushing for stricter regulation of trading hours of alcohol this festive season. COVID-19 infections, as you know, are set to be on the rise, raising concern about what will happen, especially when people drink in large groups. This afternoon, the Health Ministry issued that statement, confirming outbreaks of COVID-19 at 4 rage events, mostly attended by grade 12 pupils who are celebrating the end of the school year. Let's bring in Maurice Smithers. He's with the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance. Maurice, great to have you back there on Skype. So you are saying tighter restrictions, especially on specific dates in December. How strict should strict be?
Well, what we believe is that the super spreader events have to be contained, and the super spreader events are likely to take place at night, in the evening and at night, at liquor outlets, on consumption liquor outlets. So ideally, what should happen at least on those days, that is to say on the 16th, 15th and 16th of December, 23rd, 24th, 25th and 26th of December, 31st of December, and 1st, 2nd of January, we believe that what government should do is say that all on-consumption outlets should close at 6 p.m. That means that people cannot go into the night drinking, because that we know is especially in the late hours of the night, that is the time that the most damage is likely to be done. And given the fact that in your earlier report, when you were reporting on police action in Gauteng, that they uncovered a number of liquor outlets that weren't even observing the curfew, it means that if people are allowed to go drinking into the night, that is likely to continue. So we're not saying people mustn't drink at all. We're not saying people can't even drink during the day in the on-consumption outlets. But at night, it's better that they don't drink in on-consumption outlets and rather drink at home, where they can continue to celebrate with their families and people who are close to them, but not in these large super spreader events.
The issue then becomes, Maurice, for the people who own restaurants and other outlets where liquor is sold. If you say close at 6 p.m. on New Year's Eve, they'll tell you that's possibly the biggest business night of the year, and they're going to lose money, which they are in desperate need of, especially on the back of the earlier stricter lockdown. So what about that?
Well, look, as far as restaurants are concerned, they can carry on selling food. There's no reason for them to close down. But you know, what's interesting is that in the Nelson Mandela Bay area, it was even tavern owners themselves who were asking for a new situation to happen over this time, where they don't actually open as on-consumption outlets, but that they operate as off-consumption. In other words, selling takeaways, because they themselves are concerned about what's going to happen. And interestingly enough, some of them are saying that they themselves have contracted COVID as a result of the activities that are happening in their own taverns, in their own liquor outlets.
Very quickly, Maurice, on fines and revoking liquor licenses, have you found that to be effective in trying to get businesses to comply with regulations?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I was asking if you've looked at whether fines and the revoking of liquor licenses has been effective in getting liquor outlets in particular to play by the rules.
Well, we haven't noticed. We haven't. I mean, the fines are quite low for infringements of liquor license regulations, and we haven't really noticed. Got an indication that there is a concerted effort to deal with places that are breaking the rules. But if there was more effort to do that, then perhaps that would be a signal to those places that are operating that they need to be more careful. But I think the other point we need to raise is, and this is a message that keeps coming from not only our government but governments around the world, that it's very important for people to realize that if we don't sacrifice now, if we don't forego some of the normal ways in which we celebrate over the festive season now, some of us may not be around at the end of 2021 for that festive season. We are facing a serious pandemic. Even in Durban, and more recently I heard it being said that that KwaZulu-Natal is a very low risk area at the moment. In the same report, in which the minister has announced the rage infections. They're saying that the IC units in all the private hospitals around Durban are full. So there is a serious problem happening, and our concern is that what government is doing at the moment, it's being reactive, not proactive.
All right.
So it has now announced a policy of imposing new restrictions in hotspot areas. But hotspot areas are already problems. So it's like they're saying that let's wait for an area to be a hotspot area when there's already a problem, already a rise in infections, and then take action.
Maurice,
we're saying no, be proactive.
We're unfortunately out of time, but thank you so much for speaking to us tonight. Maurice Smithers is with the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance South African chapter.